What's up, guys? TraderJud here, back with another weekly Forex Outlook video where I go over 10 different Forex pairs on the 4-hour time frame and give you a little bit of analysis for the week. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you did not like it. Either way, I do truly appreciate any feedback. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below or shoot me a message on Telegram. My Telegram contact information is in the description down below as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here we are looking at EURUSD on the 4-hour time frame. Market's just opened just a little bit ago. It's a little bit, I guess it's like 5 o'clock now, or a little bit after 5 o'clock. But as you can see, my outlook on EU last week was actually bullish because it broke out of this consolidation zone. As you can see, broke right back into it, and that's where we're sitting. Last week it was almost all bearish. A lot of bearish momentum in last week's movement. So now that we're back into the consolidation area that we were in for the past few weeks, I'm not bearish or bullish on this. I do think this will continue down to hit this zone or maybe break below it. I do not think that it'll break below this this trend line. However, if it does, then we'll be looking for a retest of the zone and the trend line before it continues downward. But I'm not really convinced it's going to go either direction. We could see more consolidation this week. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know what to think about EU. We did add this other trend line. If it breaks above that trend line, I probably wouldn't buy it until it breaks above this upper zone or breaks back out of the consolidation area. But like I said, I'm not really convinced it's going to go in either direction. So I would wait on EU until it gives you some clear-cut direction on which way it wants to go. USDJPY is up next. As we can see, did the exact opposite that EU did last week and went completely bearish, or excuse me, completely bullish. And we are almost to the 110 level. The 110 level is a significant quarter point, so it's something to be aware of. I'm not really sure if it's going to react to that 110 level or not. We do have a lot of bullish momentum pushing out of that. We can see that we broke through this support and resistance level and has not come back down to retest it yet. So we could see a retest of that, or we could see reaction to the 110, or I added this horizontal ray right here just showing market structure from right here. So I'm not really sure what we're going to see with UJ this week because of all this bearish momentum that we saw coming out of this, or before we got this minor bullish retracement, which I still am a firm believer this is a retracement on a larger time frame. I still think this is going to go bearish at some point in time. I'm not 100% sure where the reaction point is going to come from. We can throw some Fibonacci on here, see where it is on the Fibonacci retracement. I'm going to draw it off of this point up here, all the way down to the very bottom point, and we are sitting on, oops, let's go ahead and grab that, draw it off the right point, excuse me. And we're approaching the 61.8, which lines up perfectly with that horizontal ray that I drew. So that looks like a pretty good point to see some retracement. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a large candlestick come up and wick off of that and then see a reversal off of that. So you should see that this week. I think if we get more bullish momentum, we'll see the test of the 61.8 before it retraces down. There is this trend line that we can extend further if price does continue to climb up. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Just like on EU, I'm not convinced this is going to go in either direction, which that just supports the theory that I had with EU because they're both USD based pairs. But like I said, I do think this is going to go bearish at some point in time. It seems likely that it'll go bearish off the 61.8. It just lines up really well with previous market structure, as you can see. but I'm not convinced on that. So if you are waiting for that, be sure that you wait for a proper reversal off the 61.8. Don't set a sell limit here and then expect to be an instant profit. I would wait for confirmation on that. Moving to gold next. As you can see, gold consolidated for most of the week and then gave us some bearish momentum on Thursday and Friday. Gold has opened up bullish, but we did break through that support and resistance level right here. I saw the sell coming on this, honestly, because we had all of these rejections to the zone. It wasn't a hard read. I do think that we could see more bullish momentum come into this because it hasn't truly broken out of the consolidation area. It needs to break below these levels, which you can see was acting as support. But yeah, another one that I'm not convinced it's going to go either direction because we have all of this bullish momentum up here. Not last week or the week before, but the previous few weeks we had all this bullish momentum, and I just find that hard to believe that it's going to completely reverse right here. It very well could, though. So this bearish engulfing candle is a good indication that it is going to go down. That's a strong bearish candlestick. In fact, it's the strongest one in weeks, it looks like, and so that's somewhat of a good sign that it's going to go bearish, but we especially want to wait for confirmation off of the support and resistance level before selling it. EUR AUD is up next. As you can see, a lot of bullish momentum last week. This pair moved really well. So, I mean, there's nothing really to analyze here. Where we're sitting right now, if it's going to retrace up, then we'll be looking for a break back above this support and resistance level, retest of that level, excuse me, and then continuation up here. If not, then we're looking for a clear-cut rejection of that support and resistance level before it continues down to the zone that's drawn, and or breaks below this zone and continues down even further. I do want to put a Fibonacci retracement on this entire leg, the previous bullish leg, and see where it is on that retracement. And we've got 3 rejections of the 61.8 on this bearish movement down, so we could very well see bullish momentum push price back up. It's definitely something to keep an eye out on with EA is bullish momentum right now. We do not have a breakup structure or anything like that yet, so just be wary of that. But as far as excuse me, as far as should you be open to opportunities to buy, my answer to that is definitely yes. Go ahead and get rid of that and move on. GBP NZD is up next. As you can see, I've moved around some trend lines. We got some good bullish momentum towards the middle end of last week. We got this double bottom on the support and resistance level, and then price broke through, came back and retested, and then continued up. I moved this trend line to the top of the most recent leg, and moved this trend line a little bit as well. But what I foresee with this is so we do have a higher low and then a higher high is made, so we're looking for a retracement, slight retracement. I think that this support and resistance level is a good level to retrace down to, and then be looking for it to continue upward. So this is confirmed. It is confirmed breakup structure. We also have an inverted head and shoulders here, bigger one. There's actually 2 if you want to be honest. There's an inverted head and shoulders right here, and there's also so this would be a shoulder, this would be the head, and this would be the other shoulder down here. And so we're looking for it to break above this trend line and continue upward. EUJ is up next, EURJPY. Not a lot of movement on EJ last week. Nothing really wild and exciting going on with that. Our support and resistance level is holding, and so it's holding as resistance right now. So we want to see price break above that, come back down and retest it, and then continue upward if that's what it's going to do, or break this trend line and continue downward if that's what it decides to do. But really, it's running out of options as far as what it wants to decide to do based on how it's marked up right now. So it's in a tight wedge. It has to break out of one side or the other relatively recently, or relatively soon, excuse me. And yeah, EG is up next. EURJPY. As you can see, a lot of bearish momentum last week, but it followed up with a little bit of bullish momentum to close the week out. Significant movement down after the consolidation area. As you can see, when it broke out hard. We had it come back and retest market structure once it broke that market structure, and then just free falled after that. It is currently sitting in this zone that's drawn, or currently testing the zone that's drawn. The EMAs are still pretty far spread out, and so I would not recommend selling this just yet, or excuse me, buying this just yet. Also, I wouldn't recommend selling it right now. We want to see how far it's going to retrace. There is really no market structure to be seen in this, and so there is going to be some sort of retracement. You can throw up your Fibonacci retracement on this leg and kind of watch the levels as they get broken. As far as where I think it's going to retrace to, either one of these support and resistance levels looks like a good retracement to me, or we could see it. I think this will probably line up with the 23.6, and so it would not surprise me to see retracement off of that and continuation down. USDCAD, UCAD is up next. UCAD all week last week just consolidated. No significant movement in either direction. Pretty boring week for UCAD, but it was kind of to be expected. I talked about that last week's video, how I would not be surprised if UCAD consolidated, which is exactly what it did. And this is what UCAD does. It gives you large movements and then periods of consolidation. And so we could see more consolidation this week. However, we could see a breakout as well. So if you want to draw a box around this, something kind of like this, and just trade the breakout, that would be perfectly fine. UCAD likes support and resistance levels. You'll notice that that's all I've got out here on this chart. I don't have any zones drawn, just support and resistance levels. UCAD respects support and resistance levels really well, and so that's something that that I would have on my charts at all time when trading UCAD. This is not one of the pairs that I actually do trade, but I am very familiar with how it works. So yeah, if you are waiting to get in on UCAD, wait for the breakout of this box. GBPJPY is up next. As you can see, we had significant bullish movement on GJ last week. We tested this zone. I'm going to put parentheses because it didn't actually reach the zone, but it came very close. So we're going to consider that a test of this zone before going bearish. Would not surprise me to see some sort of retracement on this. We'll go ahead and put up a Fibonacci retracement on GJ just like I did on UJ, and kind of see where the price is. And the 88.6 is up there. If you draw it off of that point, we'll go a little bit higher and see what it is off of that whole leg, which you can see is a 61.8. So much like UJ, we're seeing reaction off the 61.8, or much like I'm expecting with UJ, we're seeing reaction off the 61.8. I would not be surprised to see bullish momentum come up and retest the 61.8 again before going down. But that's what I'm seeing with this pair is possible selling opportunities, not confirmed yet, but possible selling opportunities. And the reason why I wouldn't sell GJ just yet is because none of the other JPY pairs have set up for sells. And so I would wait on selling GJ, even though it looks like it could be a possible good opportunity to get in right now. I would wait until the other JPY pairs set up for sells, if that's what they're going to do. And AUD NZD is up next. It's the last pair of the week, and as you can see, some bullish momentum last week, followed by some bearish momentum once it came up to this support and resistance level. Slightly higher high and a higher low, so this looks like it could be a retracement. I would not be surprised to see a retest of this trend line before it continues upward even farther. but I'm not convinced that that's going to be the case. AN doesn't move fast at all. If you're a new trader, and this is the biggest reason why I include AUDNZD. I know a lot of people don't trade AUDNZD, but the reason why I include it is because this is a great pair for new traders because it does not move fast, it's forgiving. And so if you're a new trader and you're convinced that you got to trade with your own money and not use a demo account to learn how to trade, this is a great pair to start out with. Really, any AUD or NZD pair is a really good pair to start out with because they're slower moving pairs. They're not nearly as liquid as some of the other pairs in Forex are, and much more forgiving. So if you are a new trader or relatively new to trading and you're convinced that you have to use your own money, that you can be successful just starting out, and you've only been trading for 2 weeks or a month or whatever, don't go out and start trading GJ or UJ or any of the faster moving pairs. Pretty much any GBP pair right now, you don't want to go out and start trading that because you're not ready for that. Let's take a look at Forex Factory, see what we have for this week. The Canadian yen, the Canada yen, the Chinese yen, excuse me. The Chinese yen has news tonight, and let's see here, tomorrow is nothing really going on. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in the United States, so it's a holiday here. GBP has news on Tuesday, JPY has news on Tuesday, NZD has news on Tuesday, more JPY news. That's pretty significant news if I'm thinking correctly. Unemployment rate and employment change for AUD is next week. The Aussies. EUR has main refinancing rate and a press conference on Thursday. And yeah, that's really it. So nothing really significant going on this week as far as news goes, but always be sure to check Forex Factory every day before you start trading. It's just a good habit to get into. And I know last week I showed you guys my trading account. I haven't made a trade since then. So I was extremely sick last week. I was very sick. I was bedridden Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm finally feeling better. Went to the doctor on Tuesday and was told to pretty much do nothing for the whole week, and so that's what I did. Given some antibiotics to assist my healing, and now I'm feeling much better. So those of you that were looking for my second video last week and it never came, that's because I was not feeling well on Sunday and progressively got worse throughout the week. And so I didn't make it. To make up for that, I am going to make 2 videos this week, or 2 more videos on top of this one this week, which I'm going to be releasing tonight. So if you're on the lookout for last week's video that was supposed to come out that didn't, again, I apologize for that. I was very sick. It will be out tonight, and this week's scheduled video will also be out. So 3 videos in one day, that's more than I've ever done. But it should be good, beneficial. So I think that covers everything for this week. Again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button in the description down below. And like this video if it was helpful. If you enjoy this weekly charting series, I enjoy doing it. So hopefully it helps everybody. But yeah, again, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Everybody have a great week. I am out.